There's some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Claire article quote, the U.S. ambassador in Baghdad announces the success of her mediation between the Iraqi central bank and the U.S. Treasury, unquote. Another quote, the U.S. ambassador to Iraq, Alina Ramisky, announced that the U.S. Treasury will not impose sanctions on Iraqi banks due to the money laundering fears. Yesterday, I participated in a call between the Treasury Department and the Central Bank of Iraq, the CBI, about the recent U.S. measures to restrict 14 Iraqi banks from dollar services after money laundering concerns. CBI took appropriate and prompt measures. No sanctions were imposed on any Iraqi banks, unquote. Militiaman says Sudani did say the dinar will be stronger than the dollar. There's a lot of talk about the dinar on the streets and everywhere. It's all about the exchange rate. This is definitely a big topic. Even on the streets, 1132 is not going to help them. To me, they're keeping this correction hush hush. We saw the Arabic side of the budget was published and read by people at 1.3. A Forbes article said 1.3, and they have been keeping it tight. Militiaman goes on to say, I do not think this 1310 or 1.3 means $1.30. I think it's a reciprocal of 1 to 1, and that would be about 77 cents, like dropping the 3 zeros. Then once they apply the real effective exchange rate, the game is going to change. Their purchasing power is going to change. Their projects and the budget are going to be funded. Frank 26 Firefly, some currency expert, is on the news on the financial section. He's saying the future of dinar could reach 3 to 1 with the American dollar by the year 2025. Frank says, I believe he's from the CBI, and that can only happen in a float. That's the hot theme I'm trying to teach you. The international float is the education of monetary reform being drilled into the citizens right now. That's the phase of monetary reform education right now. The external international flow of their national currency, that's too soon to come. To see a float over a year and a half is logical and stable. All right, Sandy Ingram, professionals in the currency industry use statements like, quote, things can change suddenly in the Forex world, unquote. You must be prepared to protect your profits or you can lose 30% of your wealth the day you realize your currency gains. The wealthy have an unwritten, iron-tight rule which they do not teach in public schools. You never spend your initial profits. You use these profits to generate more profits. You keep your day job until you can replace your monthly income without touching your initial profits. This info is for the new wealthy or exotic currency investors. All right, and Norstay says, and opening a dinar-denominated checking or banking account at Chase, for instance, as a possibility. If it's denominated in dinar and the dinar goes up, then you're already home free. Convert dollars right to your bank. You get rid of that whole problem of taking 10 million dinar down to downtown Los Angeles and going up 15 stories into some building, hoping you don't get rousted before you get up there. All right, Jeff says they can only change the rate at a certain time because that's how their new budget is structured. It's time-specific sensitive. Because of that, that's the reason why it looks like nothing is getting done. The time of the budget has to do with the timing of the rate change. They are paired and linked together. Mountain Goat says the very good news is that the honest Iraqis are waking up. It will be very soon become public knowledge that they must liberate the dinar, and this is real and only solution. When I talk to my CBI contact, I am still told that the project to delete the zeros is not off the table and is going to be executed shortly. Walking Stick says they're talking about the float now. They're doing a lot of work about the international connections, everything that's connected to the float. 3 to 1 at the onset is ridiculous. It's better to have small incremental pip movements of, let's say, 50 cents, 60 cents, $1. That would be more logical. Frank 26 says, is the governor of the CBI the one that makes the decision on when to release the new exchange rate? Turns out it's the board of directors. All right, lastly, Goldilocks, quote, HCM City HD Bank is one of the first lenders in Vietnam to have successfully adopted Basel III reform standards, unquote. Goldilocks says HD Bank in Vietnam has upgraded from Basel II to Basel III reforms across the board on all of the requirements it takes to be compliant. The Basel Committee has recommended this for international banks since January 1st, 2023, and HD Bank is our first international pioneer. They have reached sustainable goals through Article 4 with the IMF, and they are now able to move forward, Iraq being on a similar track. HD Bank, one of the pioneers at Vietnam, has applied leading international risk management standards.